America, Sweden, Dubai, what do they have in common? Of course, scientific progress, especially in construction. But what if I tell you that these countries have had the most failed mega projects, like the railway tunnel in Sweden, which was completed 23 years late, or the American dam that collapsed after a few years of operation, killing over 500 people? How is this even possible? Today, I'll tell you about the most failed mega projects, and at the end of the video, you'll learn about the most astonishing case where the human factor increased the cost of an international project tenfold. Enjoy the video. Arena da Amazônia. In 2010, preparing for the FIFA World Cup, Brazilian authorities decided to replace an old stadium with a new one. Foreign construction companies quickly took on the project designed by a German architectural firm. They were inspired by the Amazon rainforest surrounding the city of Manaus, where the new structure was to be located. The metal elements and the overall appearance of the stadium were meant to resemble traditional straw baskets produced in the region. Arena da Amazônia was designed for 40,000 spectators, featuring a restaurant, large underground parking, and VIP lounges. Another goal was the building's eco-friendliness, with a rainwater recycling system for reuse after purification and a natural ventilation system. In the end, the 20,000-seat arena hosted just 4 World Cup matches in 2014 and was used during the 2016 Olympics. But sadly, it became mostly redundant afterward. Home club matches such as those of Nacional, America, Rio Negro didn't even attract 1,000 spectators. The complex and expensive infrastructure is mostly idle. The construction cost $300 million, while monthly maintenance costs exceed $100,000. High maintenance costs are justified by Manaus's high average temperatures, requiring huge sums for ventilation and cooling, while ticket sales hardly cover the expenses. Superconducting Super Collider. I found another failed mega project in the USA, in Waxahachie, Texas. Back in the 80s, the country decided to build the world's largest hadron collider. By 1991, a location was chosen near the small town of Waxahachie, Texas. Initially allotted $4.5 billion, the project's cost soon exceeded $12 billion. Due to funding issues, the government had to choose between the International Space Station and the Superconducting Super Collider, and as you might have guessed, they built the ISS. On October 21, 1993, the SSC project was shut down. Strangely, by that time, a significant portion of tunnels, shafts and surface infrastructure was already built, costing about $2 billion. The government tried to sell the entire property and infrastructure, but it took a long time. Finally, in 2006, an investment group decided to buy it, including the land and buildings. The cost of this purchase is unimaginable. The company began dismantling everything, a sort of legalized looting but paid for. All the valuable equipment was removed and likely sold, leaving the SSC abandoned. The project was meant to be the most advanced in the world, with a power of 40 tera-electron volts. For perspective, the Large Hadron Collider uses just 14 tera-electron volts. The SSC would have been at least 3 times more powerful. But why was such an ambitious project abandoned? Underground work proved too expensive. The estimated construction costs were several times less than what experts later quoted, leading to its cancellation. Madrid Airport. If you think only large countries can undertake mega projects, you're mistaken. For example, in 2006, Spain began building a new airport to serve Madrid's passengers. Just 6 years later, it was closed. Why? The airport was designed to handle up to 10 million passengers annually, but in reality, it served far fewer. Its remote location made it unappealing for travelers. This airport was supposed to be one of the largest in Europe, with a runway capable of accommodating the world's largest planes, and infrastructure to serve thousands of passengers daily. It was intended to relieve other Madrid airports and those nearby. However, due to incompetence and corruption, the government had to shut it down. Initially priced at 100 million euros, the sale price dropped to 40 million as there were no buyers. Eventually, a Chinese company offered just 10,000 euros, promising to attract new users. Of course, no one intended to sell such a massive project for such a low price, so it remains idle to this day. The World Artificial Islands, Dubai. Even in very wealthy countries like the United Arab Emirates, there are problems with projects. Take, for example, the World Artificial Islands in Dubai. This archipelago was meant to be as significant as the Palm Islands in the same city. But here too things went awry. due to the financial crisis and the collapse of the real estate market in Dubai, work on creating new artificial islands completely halted. As a result, this grandiose project is essentially idle. So far, about $5 billion has been spent on it, with no information on when all the islands will be available for development. There's only hope that the project will be completed. Hallandsås Railway Tunnel, Sweden. Sweden is known worldwide for its precision and efficiency. It's a country with hardly any super-rich people, but a dominant middle class and perhaps the world's highest pension contributions. However, even such advanced countries have their long-term construction projects. In 1992, Sweden began building the Hallandsås Railway Tunnel, planned for completion in 1995. But the design has never made such a big mistake before. Groundwater started seeping in, a serious problem for engineers and builders. Moreover, their drill broke at a depth of 59 feet. The complexity and constantly emerging new problems led to increased costs, causing the main contractor to go bankrupt. Another company took over, deciding to radically solve the groundwater issue. However, they didn't account for the toxicity of the substance used to seal cracks and holes, which led to the poisoning of fish and livestock in the area. These factors caused the work to be suspended in 1997. The project was frozen for 8 long years until the government and engineers figured out how to complete the construction. By 2015, the tunnel was ready, but at what cost? The project was 23 years behind schedule and nearly $1.5 billion over budget, a true failure. Hotel in North Korea. If the whole world has its megaprojects, then the Democratic People's Republic of Korea must have them too. Otherwise, I can't imagine why such a poor country decided to build such a majestic building. In the capital of North Korea, Pyongyang, stands a huge and very beautiful glass pyramid. But the most interesting thing is that it's completely empty. Essentially, it's just a facade. This lifeless building is actually the coolest hotel in the country. Its construction started more than 30 years ago and has yet to be completed. Why? Simply put, DPRK never had the funds to finish the hotel. The country aspired to create a building so magnificent that it would overshadow a hotel already built in South Korea. They succeeded. Their hotel even made it into the Guinness World Records as the tallest abandoned building. But how did they even start construction without money? They used foreign investors' funds. They began construction in 1991, but just 3 years later, they halted it. By then, the building's frame and glass facade were erected. In 2008, it was updated to make the huge hotel look new and very beautiful. Sadly, it still doesn't operate. Over the years, it has never officially opened its doors to visitors. St. Francis Dam, USA. There's another quite ancient and completely failed megaproject in America that even caused loss of lives. Between 1924 and 1926 in California's San Francisco Canyon, a colossal dam was built as a key part of the Los Angeles aqueduct, playing a vital role in water flow control. This dam ensured the city didn't face water shortages. But as you might have guessed, there are no well-implemented projects in our video. The dam was designed by a self-taught engineer. Yes, you heard right. Naturally, the lack of education, poor experience and numerous gaps in the most basic design knowledge played their role. The dam was built in the wrong place, where the geology was very poor. Moreover, the engineer chose a bad foundation for such a monumental structure, which turned out to be too unstable. In addition to many significant engineering miscalculations, these issues ultimately led to the dam's destruction. On March 12, 1928, the dam collapsed under water pressure, disrupting the entire aqueduct feeding Los Angeles. There were many homes downstream, and they were simply washed away, killing over 500 people according to official data. The total number of lives lost due to the negligence of the self-taught engineer is unknown. Fortunately, his career declined after the disaster. James Webb Space Telescope. There are also international projects that have been failures. For example, the James Webb Space Telescope. 17 countries participated in its development, led by NASA. The new telescope was meant to replace Hubble, another space engineering object whose service life was ending. With the James Webb Space Telescope, scientists plan to obtain more detailed images from a greater distance than Hubble. The project was perfect on paper, but in practice, something went wrong. It was supposed to be launched into space in 1996, with the entire project costing only $1 billion. In reality, the launch occurred in 2021, with the total cost nearing $10 billion. Why? The human factor is to blame. At every assemble stage, problems arose that seriously slowed progress. For instance, engineers frequently lost screws, which are literally worth their weight in gold in such projects, as each is developed separately. You can't just go to the nearest hardware store, pick up any screws and assemble a spacecraft with them. Due to such minor oversights, there were significant delays. Fortunately, the telescope was eventually launched, but still, I have doubts about the necessity of a project that became 10 times more expensive due to construction errors. These were the most failed megaprojects in our world. Thank you for watching.